With head coach Franklin from Millwood. First off, Coach, thank you for having us out. We are very excited about tomorrow's matchup with Heritage Hall. Two undefeated teams from last season. You guys actually are riding a 28-game win streak that leads the state. Heritage Hall's on a 14-game win streak, ties them with Afton and then with John Marshall. Streaks are meant to be broken, but at the same time, streaks are also an enticement to keep playing hard, keep playing better, keep pushing yourself. How did the boys look at having back-to-back 14-0 seasons, first time in school history, back-to-back championships? How proud are they, and how much of do they take as this is something we've got to keep pushing forward with?
Well, this is actually the second one. As far as we got a three-peat earlier, so we're not worried about a streak. We're not worried about it at all. We're not worried about what happened last year. We're totally focused on what we got to do right now. Mm-hmm. And if you start talking about streaks and stuff like that, you'll lose sight and lose focus on the little things that you got to do day in and day out. And if you lose focus on that, you're going to mess around and lose a ball game. So the only one we worried about is really just a win-loss column. What happens will happen.
Coaches used to tell us you're 0-0, and depending upon this game, your streak will either be 0-1 or you'll be 1-0.
Yeah. I mean, you're either. I heard a coach tell us you either getting your tail kicked or you kicking tail. So
there you go.
It's a very simple equation, So you got to come out and do what you're supposed to do. But as a coaching staff, I know for sure that we've really tried to get them prepared and ready to play, even to the extent of going through a jog through and being out here to make sure all those things are taken care of, the little details. It's a pretty good thing.
I've often heard the phrase "perfect makes practice" or "practice makes perfect," but at the ultimate end of the day, when you have a team that has accomplished what you've accomplished, 14 win seasons, 3 out of the last 5 years, you had a couple of oopses there in between, a 6-3 and I think a 6-5 season. How have you been able to consistently put 14 wins on the board? That's very difficult to do.
Those guys over there, coaches, coordinators, the assistant coaches, players, and parents, and community. I mean, it's knowing what we're trying to accomplish, looking at the big picture, and staying the course no matter what, and constantly just. I heard a phrase, build your kingdom one brick at a time. So just constantly placing one brick at a time in place and never wavering and never worrying about all the other stuff. Just keep doing what you're supposed to do. That's what we do. We do a great job of. We trust each other. We got each other's back, and we just try to piece it together one day at a time and just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
From a personal standpoint, I know it means a lot to you to coach at your alma mater, where your dad coached as well. At the end of the day, when you get together with your family and you know that your dad coached as long as he did in basketball, accomplished what he did, and then you see what you're able to do, and then you look over at your son and see him growing and developing and, wanting to be in sports too. How important is it to you to set a legacy and the foundation for your kids even to follow what you did with your dad?
Well, I got 2 girls, and my oldest now is a trainer at Langston, and my youngest is a cheerleader on the field. And it was actually funny. Everybody else sees it as chopped and all that kind of good stuff with basketball and what he's done. And my youngest and I was laughing about it yesterday. We were saying everybody else says chop, and she says pawpaw. I say dad. So we don't even talk about it. It's one of those things that it's not even for him. It might be, some prideful thing that builds up, but that's not even what we don't even worry about that. That's just what we've done. It's not who we are.
Absolutely. 2 weeks in, we had week 0, number 1 matchup between Tipton and Shattuck. Surprisingly enough, wide game. This will be the second one in a row. We'll have number 1 3A team in Heritage Hall. You're number 1 in 2A. Is this type of a matchup something that you feel like is iron sharpening iron, or simply just try not to get caught on fire?
Okay. Let them know I'm headed that way.
Y'all need to speak up. I thought y'all was over there.
I'm sorry. What you say? That threw me off, boy. You threw me for a loop on that one.
Number one, Heritage Hall versus you guys. 2 weeks in a row. Is this a game that you look at as iron sharpening iron, or simply just try not to get caught with the flames because you know each team is going to bring it and going to give their own hits?
No, we look at this as us figuring out what we have. You know, this isn't. It makes no sense to have early on a couple of programs that won't test you. You know, you need to be battle tested. 2A is a monster.
Absolutely.
You know? So you can sit up here and try to have a cushion schedule if you want to, and then you get woken up. But we rather jump head first into the fire and let's see what's going on. And it gives us a real good idea and a measuring stick for ourselves to what do we need to improve, who do we need to move around, who do we need doing different things. And no, it's definitely iron sharpens iron in a way, you know, and we'd rather it be that way. It's a good biblical proverb. We live by it. So I think Coach Mack says you're not gonna sharpen a knife with some butter.
Absolutely.
You know, you're not gonna do it with cotton. So let's go ahead and do what we got to do and see what happens.
OSSAA made a lot of changes this year to districts. By my count, 355. All of the 2A 5 through 8 and 3A 5 through 8. You know, kind of got a major redo.
You counted up 355 changes?
355 changes.
We got to get you something else to do.
I know, board, exactly. When you look at the schedules that you guys have played, obviously you've had Victory Christian, Davis, Washington, the teams like Alva that have traditionally, been pushing teams. Washington has had a really tradition-rich, program. Are you excited about seeing Jones and Beggs come your way, or are you just still focusing on 1 week, in, 1 week out?
That's two great programs over the last few years that move into 2A. That's exciting, yes. Are we thinking about it or worried about it? No. Just from the standpoint that there's a lot of football that got to happen before you can even see it.
Absolutely.
So, do you welcome, the new additions to the class and everything else? Absolutely. But, you better take care of your business leading up to it, or you won't have to worry about seeing them.
Absolutely. Final question for you. Game is scheduled
tomorrow. And they got to see us too. So,
yeah. There's more people worried about you, I think, than the other way around nowadays.
It's great to see them coming in, but shoot, hopefully we can make it worthy.
Game is tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Any kind of final thing that you want to say to fans? Any kind of notable thing that's on schedule tomorrow for Millwood?
No, just come out, be loud, be raucous. Let the kids play off of your energy, and these guys definitely love that community to come out and be loud and represent them well. So we're gonna come out and try to do what we need to do, and hopefully we can take care of business for the East Side.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.